After one dispatcher calls Panettiere, quote, an unresponsive female in cardiac arrest, another says medics are at her apartment treating a, quote, overdose with CPR in progress. Police say no signs of foul play and no cause of death revealed by the family, meaning we'll have to wait for the coroner's report for the cause of death.
Hayden Panettiere would have turned 37 on Friday. Wall Street, the Dow, is off by more than 200 points. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect partly sunny skies with temperatures reaching a high of 80, which is not as warm as previous days and with lower humidity. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 65. Tomorrow, anticipate humid conditions with a mix of clouds and sun and the possibility of a thunderstorm in the area late in the afternoon. The high for tomorrow will be 83 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Sean Fest returns on August 28th at the Westin Chicago Northwest in Itasca. Be a part of a live, on-location broadcast of The Sean Thompson Show, including a performance of the national anthem, followed by live music, food, drinks, and an opportunity to meet Sean Thompson. Registration is free. Go to 560theanswer.com/SeanFest. That's 560theanswer.com/SHAUN Fest. Sponsored in part by Virago and by State Farm Insurance Agent Anthony DeGrotto.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
If you're looking for a place to grow spiritually in the middle of a busy life, InTouch.org is designed for you. Explore practical, biblical teaching from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, free study guides, and messages that speak to real-life challenges. Whether you're searching for direction, comfort, or a deeper understanding of God's Word, you'll find tools to help you take the next step. Discover resources that meet you right where you are at intouch.org.
Hey, it's Scott Tucker and my new co-host,
Amy Jacobson,
on AM 560. We wanted you to know that we have a special show every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. here on AM 560, The Answer. It is Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker and
Amy Jacobson.
It's every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. 2-hour show, 2-hour radio extravaganza. Amy, we're going to tantalize the listening public and the listening private with all kinds of retirement planning information. So tune in at AM 560 Sunday mornings at 7 a.m.
Hi, I'm Dr. Huber with Virago, the Immune Enhancement Cocktail. Did you know it has 23 natural ingredients in it that work together synergistically? We have nutraceuticals like quercetin, luteolin, fisetin, and lactoferrin. Each of them has such great properties in themselves. Together, they synergistically create a really powerful super immune boost. Not only that, Virago includes specialized mitochondrial energy factors like R-alpha-lipoic acid, CoQ10, and resveratrol to give your cells the energy they need to power your immune system. The ultimate immune boost starts with Virago. Discover Virago today. Join me Friday, August 28th at Sean Fest and hear me interviewed by the great Sean Thompson, a true patriot.
Order your bottle of Virago today. Visit myvirago.com. Use the coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Maha and Virago, making America healthy again.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
All right, 6 murdered Sunday as Chicago weekend shootings leave 25 victims. CWB Chicago reporting 6 people were murdered and another 10 people survived being shot across Chicago on Sundays. A wave of violence that drove the weekend shooting total to 25 victims, according to preliminary information provided by Chicago police and reviewed by the independent crime data analysis site HeyJackass.com. Now, HeyJackass.com is not reporting crime statistics as regularly as they usually do, which was daily, but we still really appreciate that site, and we hope they continue to do it on at least a weekly basis, and I think that's what they're trying to do. This is really important information. We're going to talk about the media and what the media should be doing and what their job is. We're going to be talking about that in our third segment, after at 11:35. But Amy,
media censorship. Yes.
Yeah, but we need the media to be reporting on this stuff.
Well, this is how they reported on it. So you've got the 6 murdered, 25 shot. Compared to the same weekend last year, this is going to go down as the best weekend in over a decade. Gee, let's see. What did it do this weekend, Jeannie? It rained, and then it rained because we're the August of rain, and then it rained some more. And then it rained some more, and then the air and water show on Saturday was postponed a little bit. So that's why the numbers are. But they're celebrating this.
Yes.
That's just how sick our society in Chicago has become, that they're celebrating that only 6 were murdered and 25 shot. 312-642-5600. I mean, that's what since 2015, the weekend has averaged 8 homicides with 37 non-fatal shooting victims. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, here's another one, CWB Chicago, because we need to do our Monday crime reporting, folks. I think that's just kind of what we're going to be doing from now on.
Before we become completely numb
to
these numbers.
We can't. Oh, here's another good one for the good old, perpetrators, people arrested for violent acts out on pretrial confinement and then now arrested again. 2 men already on pretrial release.
Ugh.
For burglarizing a Loop restaurant together are back in jail after Chicago police officers allegedly caught them doing the same thing again.
Did they go back to the same restaurant or did they expand their taste buds and target different places?
Well, I don't know, but the police recovered suitcases.
What?
Plural, suitcases.
Full of what? Canned goods or
full
meat?
Of Jimmy John's cold cuts, chips, and ice cold soft drinks.
You can't
make this up.
Oh
No, you can't. One of the cops recognized Kraut as one of the perpetrators from a previous burglary arrest and knew he had an active warrant. Officers circled the block and pulled through an alley where they allegedly saw Williams, the other guy, hit the restaurant's glass door, causing a loud banging noise. Backup officers arrived and they arrested both men. These are not smart criminals.
Rarely they are. You know what I did this weekend?
But who doesn't like Jimmy John potato chips?
I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah.
I spent a few moments free that I had walking around area bars looking for Sisek. He's the man who hit a woman last weekend and put her body in the back of his car, then drove a block and hit a tree at Ashland and Irving Park, and then got out, and he's on pretrial. He's on EM, electronic monitoring.
Are they deputizing you?
No, this is what I do. Because I know you tell a guy who's an alcoholic, don't drink, and you have 5 days. He killed somebody. Okay, I know he hasn't been proven in a court of law, but he's arrested for manslaughter.
Yeah, running someone over.
But here, have a little, some ankle jewelry and go out, spend 5 days in your house, 2 days out. So the judge told him not to drink. So that's why I'm checking the bars. Because when I see him, I am going to call right away and take pictures and stay there with him from a distance, just to make sure. Because that sick SOB.
Yeah.
After he hit her and put her body in the back of his car, I had heard that it's the second impact that killed her, that might have killed her, not the first impact of the car. So when he tried to conceal that he hit and left the scene of a crime, he put her body in the back and then hit a tree. And she had absolutely no restraints on, obviously, because he was trying to get away. And he's sick. That he's mentally ill. I mean, he's a drunk. He's a violent drunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably didn't even know that he did it, but yet he could have known that he did it. It's just disgusting. So, yes. And I'm calling my state reps today, and I was wondering if I should record it. Annie Williams is going to take my call, or Sarah Feingold. Do you think that they'll take my call, my state senator and my state rep, to tell them that we should eliminate electronic monitoring for violent offenders? This is not a big ask.
No, I agree. Absolutely. But, on that same note, CWB Chicago also reporting women intentionally rammed a man with a car during an Edgewater crosswalk dispute. And she's at least being held on pretrial confinement.
Oh, good.
But she intentionally struck a pedestrian with her car following an argument on a crosswalk, leaving the 61-year-old man with traumatic brain injury so severe he's expected to undergo long-term residential care.
Ugh.
Okay, she's charged with attempted first-degree murder and 3 counts of aggravated battery. The victim was in a crosswalk at Ravenswood Avenue and Ridge Avenue when Buchanan drove her Ford past him without yielding. Okay, angered by her failure to stop, the man struck her car with his hand, prompting her to stop and pull the vehicle in his direction.
And then she hit him?
Yeah, she then began arguing with him. And the man at one point walked towards her and spat in her direction before walking away. Buchanan then accelerated towards the man, stopped abruptly, turned the vehicle in his direction, accelerated rapidly, and struck him with a car, pinning him against a fence. And then reversed with the man clinging to the hood of her car before accelerating rapidly again and slamming into a curb, which caused the man to fall and hit his head. I mean, what's wrong with people?
But here's the thing. Why is she not on EM and Sissick is on electronic monitoring? Because what he did was as bad, if not worse, than what she did. 312-642-5600. Phone lines are open. You can also text us. Kudos to police for one thing.
Yes.
They arrested teenagers. So we had a teen takeover of a different kind since it was raining.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to once again break into the Congress Theater on the Northwest Side. They brought with them a DJ. Okay, so this is an abandoned building, and hundreds, large crowds of young people started showing up. They arrested 16 individuals between the ages of 13 to 19, and they're charged with criminal trespass. So that's something. But this, viral rave, went on yet again because they've had several break-ins at that shuttered Congress Theater. It's in Chicago's Logan Square. So at least kudos to police for doing that.
Absolutely. You need to do it more. That's a great idea. Okay, something else I wanted to bring up, because I'm going to throw this out there, 312-642-5600. Text or call in. But after reading this story, I actually think that people who work in education, I don't care, public school, private school, I think that they should be randomly drug tested. Just like the military is randomly drug tested. Are your children important to you? Do you think we should have random drug tests? Call in, weigh in. Here's the story. 2 women found dead in a Bucktown apartment last month died from accidental overdoses of cocaine and fentanyl. Both women worked at Chicago public schools.
Yes, Shirley Colin, 36 years old, a security guard at Lakeview High School.
That's in your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. And so all the security guards are SEIU members. And this happened at 3 in the afternoon on July 10th. It was apparently they had done some coke because the drugs were on the table, the straws were out, and the cocaine more than likely was laced with fentanyl. And so they both died. And the other, you said, is a special education teacher, Tania Rios.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Special education classroom assistant at McPherson IB World School. But she was known for her contagious laugh, her loud and unmistakable presence, and a heart big enough to hold everyone in it. She gave her unwavering support to family and friends alike and chased life with a spontaneous and adventurous spirit, apparently so.
Well, Shirley Colin, that security officer we mentioned, there's been a GoFundMe campaign launched in her honor. Known for her kindness, warmth, and unwavering support for everyone she met, her presence brought comfort and joy to students, staff, and families alike. Shirley had a way of lifting people up during their lowest moments. and her laugh and smile could brighten any room. She was truly one of the best you could ever meet, always there for others when they needed her most.
Well, I think, I honestly, if these people are doing heavy drugs like this, I mean, this wasn't their first time.
No.
And are they doing it on the weekend and then showing up with the residual effects in their system when they go to school? Are security officers doing this? Come on. Randomly drug test these people.
Well, according to their website, CPS schools requires pre-employment drug screening for most new hires within 7 days of the job offer. Now, marijuana is legal now. And that these two weren't accused of doing marijuana. According to the medical examiner, it was cocaine laced with fentanyl. Marijuana is generally excluded from the standard pre-employment panels unless the position involves driving or safety-sensitive heavy machinery. So if they're lifting or transporting, then you check to see if they have marijuana in their system.
Well, in the military, even marijuana is still illegal. And if you're caught with it in your system, when they randomly drug test you, or you can do a command-directed urinalysis, which is how I got our battalion drug dealer out. He showed up. Yeah, he was
What
DUI. He was he got a DUI, and my husband's like, "Hey, you oughta just direct a piss test." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great idea," because I was a commander at that point. I'm like, yeah.
So you ordered it?
I ordered the piss test. He was hot for cocaine, and then he got out. We court-martialed him out of the army. So that's great. But I mean, I think that they should have just as strict standards in our public schools. And I think, the principal, I mean, obviously if somebody shows up drunk, it's apparent and you do something about that. But I think you also should just randomly test them.
I know. And there's been
I don't want
times
these
when
people
my
educating kids.
Kids have said so-and-so was so stoned, and he always teaches that class stoned. But and probably shame on me, but I never, they were my coworkers, and I thought, well, you don't know for sure. You're just saying that. I mean, that was a bad mom.
Well, let's take a couple calls on this. First of all, let's talk to Ron on the South Side. Ron, welcome to the program.
Good morning, ladies. I'm all in favor of the testing, but you all mentioned it. It could become an issue with the marijuana, because it is legal. Now, I'm all in favor of. I know before I retired, I worked for people that drove vehicles had to be tested because of you being impaired behind the wheel. But I just don't know. That would be pretty tricky for a lawyer to say, even though if they're impaired, I don't know how you're going to be able to teach my child. But I'm all in favor of it. It just, I think it could face some legal challenges. You ladies have a great day.
Yeah, well, Chicago Public Schools, they're the finest. Then there's this one, the founder of one of Chicago's most high-profile youth violence prevention groups, who also works at Chicago Public Schools as a counseling assistant, is sitting in the Cook County Jail after being charged with criminal sexual assault and grooming involving two 14-year-old girls.
And he's part of did it say what school? Or he might just because he is a violence interrupter, too. Sometimes they go and speak to student bodies and...
Yeah,
but
I'm
you're
looking
not
for that.
You're not supposed to.
Again,
but I wonder if he's on a do not hire list like some other people we know.
Amy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know
anybody? Hope he's on a do not hire list. But you can't assume. That's the thing. No. Assumption is the mother of all screw ups. And there were people at Juarez High School who were accused of grooming, getting a girl pregnant not once but twice. And I'm a girl, a student. And he still was not on a do not hire list and got a job in the suburbs. And thank God for NBC5 Investigates, because they blew that case wide open. And then he lost his job in the suburb because of that.
That's great. Well, we need more of this type of investigation when it comes to things like this. And and we need, apparently, though, also according to David Greising, he's the president of the Better Government Association. We can solve all our problems if we just have more ethics laws. And that's the problem down in Springfield, is we need a whole nother set of ethics laws, Amy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're going to discuss that right after this break. 312-642-5600. We'll take your questions as well.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews in Family Legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Hey, did you ever track down that missing warehouse key?
I forgot all about it.
You forgot? You said that guy was furious when you had to let him go.
That doesn't matter anymore. Goldilocks set us up with new managed access control. We're keyless now. Everyone has a card or fob. Even their phone works.
Huh. You don't have to worry about people copying keys either.
Yeah, never again. Goldilocks allows me to handle everything from my phone or laptop. I can see who came into the building, when they left, restrict their access at night. I can grant temporary access to visitors, too. It takes 30 seconds to add or remove someone.
That sounds a lot safer and simpler.
Stop guessing who has access to your building. Set up access controls today by calling Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. Again, that's 708-889-5600, or visit GoldilocksInc.com. Goldilocks. Security under your control.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you, deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, boy. Amy, is he calling because this is a privilege, or is he calling to harass us or correct us?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay, well, we'll find out. Because we got Sean from Elmwood Park on. Sean, welcome to the program.
His name is Sean Thompson, and he's from Elmwood Park, originally Melrose Park.
I have the clip, Jeannie. His name is Charles McKenzie. He's the founder of the Inglewood Violence Protection Rehabilitation Money Laundering Scheme. They picked up on that Jeff Fort, which, by the way, when Jeff Fort got $2 million in the 60s, they thought that was a lot of money. They're stealing tens of millions, these scumbags that are running this violence interference nonsense, selling dope and grooming kids. It's a joke. It's almost as funny as CPS. And it's not exclusive to Chicago.
So,
Sean, there's another broad on the East Coast. She was doing drugs with the kids in school.
Yeah. I mean, well, Sean, don't you think these guys should be randomly drug tested? All of them. I'm talking every teacher. Freaking line up. Go to the bathroom now. That's how we did in the military. What the hell?
The labor extortion mafias, I call them that for a reason. If you got the business agent in your pocket, if you're related to some scumbag, you skip all that in these unions. So it's a nice idea that the unions deliver drug-free poppycock, never in municipal work. It's all laid out. Of course, you should never hire them. Randomly drug test them. You're hiring scumbags, and you're putting them around kids. How do you think it's going to happen? And these kids that are teachers, did you ever see a teacher in the last 20 years? You think of it like it's 1947. She got the long skirt. She's a patriot. Her husband's in World War II. That's not the case. These are the lowest forms of idiots. Most of them can't spell or do math themselves. Why do you think the product is so bad?
Well, what about
the whole system has to be revamped? Everything privatized. No private entity could operate like this and exist. None.
Well, that's true. That's definitely true. If people were really writing the check to put their kid in school, they'd demand a hell of a lot better standards all around. But they don't write the check. It's just like all this new talk about how have you developed these socialists? And this has been a discussion that's been going around in a lot of different op-eds lately. It's like, how is it that you're developing socialists in college? Well, because the entire system is socialist. You walk in, you pay for nothing. Your parents pay, or somebody pays, or the Pell Grant pays, or the work study pays, everything, and you don't really understand the cost of anything. Per credit hour cost, you don't know. Most students don't know. They have sorority dues. Oh, parents are paying for that. Whatever it is. That's the problem.
Well, I just dropped my son off at University of Iowa. There was a sign that says, "Mom, Donnie is God," next to a Palestinian flag.
No.
And it was hanging. When I go back there next week or 2 weeks from now, I'm going to take a picture of it. I was mortified. But then I thought, and then there's a picture on the way out on Dubuque Street, a 3-story picture of George Floyd painted on the side of someone's home. And
they're subsidized. What do you expect? That's public money. Listen, you have a very small and getting smaller by the day section of society that has to produce in order to survive. And you have an ever-growing Leviathan that the more it loses, the more money it gets. It's not even incentivized to succeed. And the problem really goes back to Obama, who uncoupled it with the help of some Republicans from any financial reality. That's why, if you could do me a favor, stop saying we redistribute wealth. There is no wealth. We redistribute debt, and debt is a guarantee of taxation. $30 trillion in 18 years added to the debt. Guarantee of taxation. And look at the inflation, 56% since Obama. You're going to complain to me about inflation, about Donald Trump, you fracking idiots. And who's going to argue? These idiots who were miseducated in school? That's why I'm telling you, Jeannie, I know you don't like it. AI is the fracking answer. Not just because it has the answer.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with data centers. I'm actually okay with it. People have lost their mind.
School will not be what we're used to. School will not exist, and it shouldn't exist. It'll all be done at home. And now the kids have an appetite for it. And you want to know something? They're better off for it. Stop putting your kids with ghetto snipe and think it's not going to rub off. That shit rubs off.
Yeah, well, on AI and education, though, Sean, they need a foundation without AI, without a computer screen first. They need that foundation first before you introduce any of this other stuff.
Would you rather have a girl on a screen talking to your kid or a crackhead? You just did stories about the crackhead.
All right. Well, yeah.
I think the screen versus the crackhead.
Are you saying that Charles McKenzie? Are you saying Charles McKenzie isn't a good counselor? Charles McKenzie isn't a good counselor? Mr. Groomer.
He did his acceptance speech with fake platinum teeth in his mouth that I would have ripped out of his head. All right, I'll see you.
All right, thanks, Sean. Coming up, the mainstream media's censorship over COVID shots and miscarriages.
Hugh Hewitt sees the Democrats sprinting left.
Abdul El-Sayed, arguably the most radical major party candidate in the history of the United States. I mean, we've had Gus Hall, an American communist, and we've had Eugene Debs, a socialist, run before. But I think Abdul El-Sayed is the most radical major party candidate for the United States Senate ever. The sprint of the Democratic Party over the left edge.
The Hugh Hewitt Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Alex Marlowe at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. The Supreme Court for a second time refusing a request by President Trump to review a $5 million civil judgment against him after a jury found in 2023 that he sexually abused and defamed writer E. Jean Carroll. The president is also appealing a second verdict that orders him to pay Carroll $83 million. And today ends the 60-day window to reach a broader deal with Iran.
And reports indicate very little progress toward a diplomatic solution that would reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The Wall Street Journal reports that Iran has been using this time to prepare for a return to conflict rather than finding a diplomatic off-ramp.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst. The deadline was laid out in the Memorandum of Understanding, which is an agreement derailed by Iran's attacks on tanker ships. And actress Hayden Panettiere has died. She was only 36 years old. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring partly sunny skies with temperatures not as warm as before and lower humidity. The high will reach 80 degrees. Tonight will be mainly clear with a low of 65. Tomorrow expect humid conditions with a mix of clouds and sun and the possibility of a late afternoon thunderstorm in the area. The high will be 83 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
It's peaceful here. Quiet. But it wasn't always. Here, the past isn't confined to textbooks or museums. It's in the soil, a pulse within the earth. Here, you can walk in step with history, where others once marched towards the unknown. The past is never really behind us. It's here, under our feet. The land never forgets the stride of the weary or the reach of the hopeful. The land remembers. And so does the American Battlefield Trust, dedicated to preserving America's hallowed battlegrounds. Now, on our nation's 250th birthday, become a member so the next acre becomes the next chapter. The next chapter becomes the next lesson. Join the trust. Protect the future. Go to battlefields.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your local State Farm agent, Anthony DeGrotto, combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. You can combine your home, auto, and life insurance to not only save you money, but give you the peace of mind you've been looking for. Anthony DeGrotto is your go-to agent in Chicagoland. He and his team will work for you to provide the best service you expect at the price you want. Combine your home, auto, and life insurance today. Anthony DeGrotto will help you mix and match things perfectly. His State Farm office is a top pick 2024 Daily Herald Reader's Choice Award winner. He's a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers and like-minded as you. His State Farm agency is currently looking to add members at their Roselle office. Call Anthony at 847-895-1500 today or visit DeGrottoSF.com. That's DeGrottoSF.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
This hourly segment brought to you by Unleash Your Wealth with Raj Shah and Rick Borick this Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Learn more at scwealthadvisors.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to The Real Story. Your phone calls 312-642-5600. We will take in the fourth segment. You can also text messages on our text line.
Robert, I get it. Illegal search and seizure, Fourth Amendment. Let's discuss in the fourth segment. I get it. Understand. Too bad.
But now we're going to focus our attention to the mainstream media's censorship over COVID shots and miscarriages. It was because they subpoenaed Fauci's text messages that we discovered that, oh, wow, a lot of women who are pregnant who take the first or second shot are having miscarriages. With more on this and the cover-up, let's welcome to the program Nick Fundacario. Did I get your name right? Probably not. He's associate editor at Newsbusters, and he joins us now. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's Fundacaro. I know, very Italian name.
I know. I'm Swedish. I'm trying, Nick. I'm trying. All right. So tell us about this cover up.
It's all good.
Yeah, and tell us about the actual text messages and the context of them.
Yeah, so basically, it's apparent, it's seemingly that he has these like messages with people behind the scenes, other people at these labs, the people who are doing sort of the testing with these shots and stuff like that. And there seemed to be, at least at the time, some evidence that there could be some concern with miscarriages and pregnant women. And meanwhile, at the same time, publicly, he was saying everything was fine. There was nothing to worry about, stuff like that. So it's raised this concern about, like, so if there were some concerns, no matter how serious or how not serious they are, like that should have been allowed to be brought up publicly and for people to have that in their sort of calculus for whether or not they wanted to get the shot.
But it was a rare window into the private conversations of our public health leaders at the height of the crisis on an issue that, how many babies, I mean, will we ever know how many babies, how many miscarriages there were related to the COVID shots?
Yeah, because basically, there's probably going to be like no way to know the full total of it, because a lot of this too is a lot of self-reporting, and because they set up a website where there was just anybody that felt any sort of side effect, or like basically anybody who felt weird or they think possibly this was connected to a shot, to put a report in on their little website. But basically, it could even be that there was some other stuff going on, not even just with the miscarriages, but people who were experiencing other what they thought were effects, could be something else going on with them, and that they were just sort of attributing it to the shot. But basically, because of the way, even the haphazard way of trying to do this self-reporting, there's no way for us to fully know the magnitude of a lot of the side effects of what was going on with the shot.
So how did ABC News, NBC, CBS, cover this story, or did they just completely ignore it?
Basically, ABC and NBC had like swept it under the rug. They just completely ignored and forgot about anything going on with this. Basically, it took almost about 24 hours for even CBS to want to cover this themselves, and they spent 2 minutes and 52 seconds on it. And it was only on Tuesday night, like nothing much really after that. And just to see sort of a comparison, so CBS spent 2 minutes and 52 seconds on this. Meanwhile, on Good Morning America, they spent 2 minutes and 52 seconds, the exact same amount of time, talking about taste testing new McDonald's drinks and a reformulated 7-Up. So that's looking at the exact same amount of time, shows the priorities of one network over the other.
Yeah, well, ABC's in hot water, too. I mean, they did this Jonathan Carroll interview with AOC. Here's just the beginning part of that clip.
It's possible to win the Senate, so I've been focused on those legislative races.
What do you make of those controversial statements? I'm sure you've seen. I mean, she's,
this is about
the Thanksgiving dust-up. She says she doesn't, still believe that, but, the abolished prisons, abolished police, which is also positions that have been taken by a lot of the progressive candidates who have won. How do you get around that? I mean, those are not positions that are supported by most of
I mean, I think that a lot of these races, even right now, they'll have a tendency to be nationalized.
Yeah.
But these races ultimately are local, and all politics are local. My understanding is that that Francesca Hong has made clear her present stances to her electorate.
Yeah, she's moved away from a lot of that.
Right, she's moved away from it. And I have a local city councilman that has this saying, woke one was crazy.
Yeah, well, how about that? I mean, Jonathan Carl pushed back a little bit, saying even you want to defund the police. But I think this is one of the more underreported stories as well, is that is exactly what the Democrat Socialists of America stand for, and what AOC is now trying to casually pass off as woke one.
Oh, exactly. And just to point out what Jonathan Carl said there, is he described some of these people as quote unquote progressive instead of far left or democratic socialist, right? This is what we've been seeing. Yeah, this is what we've been seeing play out in like recent weeks. My colleague, Bill D'Agostino, he put out a study just last week looking from like August 1st to August 11th, and basically found 84 uses of the term progressive versus 21 uses of the term like socialist or far left. And basically this is what we're seeing, is like they're trying to use these softer terms to try to lighten up a lot of these far left candidates. And then one of the things we're also saying is in the areas where even the quote unquote establishment Democrat won, basically you're seeing the terms like establishment, moderate, basically even softer terms for them, as opposed to even pointing out that even the current quote-unquote establishment Democrat is also is far to the left and doesn't have policies that a lot of the population would think are crazy, right? So this is what we're seeing. It's like this play with terms ahead of the midterm elections, just because the Democrats or the media rather need to help their Democratic colleagues or their Democratic friends get dragged across the finish line because they're desperate to help the Democrats flip the House and flip the Senate.
Well, let's look into the DSA. I mean, their membership, 85% white, okay? Average age is 33. 80% of them have college degrees. So we're not talking about factory workers. We're talking about grad students. They're nonprofit staffers. They're people with master degrees in sociology. And the DSA now claims over 250 elected officials from city councils to Congress. And do you think it was a big win for us and maybe for moderate Democrats that Hong didn't win her election? Or is that just a bump in the road?
It just so happens the fact is like she nationalized her race by accident by going on with CNN and then getting the question about like the holiday stuff, and that sort of sunk her last minute. But it looked like she was on track to win by a lot until the more radical positions that she was taking sort of popped up here. And just looking at the demographics that you pointed to with the DSA, they're basically LARPing being proletariat when they're actually the bourgeois, right? Like you have these kids who come from really well-off backgrounds going to these Ivy League colleges who are like basically pretending to be these destitute like farm workers from the old Russian, before the Russian Revolution, right? So it's this idea of a lot of them are just sort of been indoctrinated through just school, being brought up in like public education from like elementary, middle, high school, and then going off to these liberal colleges and just sort of getting this warped mindset and view of the world and thinking that they're victims. Meanwhile, they're very well off.
Let's talk about Terry Moran, former ABC news anchor, correspondent. Over the weekend, we discovered via podcast that he did that he tried to do a story about the origins of COVID, and just this is what he told the podcasters.
I did feel the heavy hand of censorship in my work at ABC News.
They took the story that you did and either sent a copy of a transcript or a copy of the video to Anthony Fauci.
That's what I was told. I don't know that that's true personally, but I was told that. It was COVID. Early in 2021, I'm seeing online and elsewhere people that I thought were smart saying, maybe this leaked from the lab. Well, that's interesting. So I went to Nightline. I said, hey, I'd like to do a story on, and they were like, great. Yeah, let's do it. We talked to molecular virologists. We talked to people in the Trump administration, and we kind of laid it out, and we're ready to go. And the day that it's supposed to air, it gets reviewed, and it comes back to me, and it is incomprehensible. They'd put so many caveats in there, and it was so legalized.
These lawyers?
Lawyers' standards. And I was told, Fauci.
Oh? A news organization is running things by the government for approval?
Yeah.
I'm shocked you didn't walk out right then.
I'm cursing and screaming in the booth.
Oh. And this is day of.
Oh, temper tantrum.
I've never watched that story and never want to because it wasn't mine.
And the
I
idea
feel
was
bad
just...
for him.
Well, now, I mean, is he trying to be like a right-wing hero here, or what's the play?
No, I think because if he, I don't think he's trying to be a right wing hero because he absolutely hates the right way. This is a guy who when he left ABC, it was over the fact that he went a little too public with the bias against the Trump administration and against right wingers. So basically, what he's sort of doing here is more just sort of like a jab at management and stuff like that to make management look bad, since they, in his mind, sort of screwed him over and forced him out and got rid of him. So this is more of like internal, like sort of retribution on his part. But it's sort of the same thing here. It's like if he was really going to be like an honest reporter, why not talk about this and express this at the time or express this when he left, right? So and he's only bringing it up now because Fauci's in the news. like it's really important for the American people, if you wanted to be honest, to be like, hey, this. He should have left at the time and just been like, hey, like we're literally outsourcing our fact checking to the people we're trying to report on and the people we're trying to hold to account. And this is a great example of what us here at Newsbusters and the Media Research Center have been warning about with ABC. And this is why we've put in petitions with the FCC to reject the renewing of their licenses, is because like this is an organization that is incredibly political and incredibly manipulating of the facts, where you basically have them engaging in direct electioneering in favor of Democrats, encouraging or at least justifying political violence in a lot of instances, and not working in the public interest by leaving out very important information like we just saw here.
Yeah, you know, there's another sort of thing going on here in terms of the media. One, obviously, the Democrats realize how important the alternate media, podcasts, graphics on Instagram, whatever, how important that was to getting Trump elected in 2024. Surely so much of the poking fun at the Democrats or, Trump waving from the McDonald's window, I mean, that had a lot of impact on real Americans, and they know it. And just prior to that and then subsequent to it, they've been doing things, at least in the state of Illinois, like mandating that schools set up media literacy classes. Now, those media literacy classes aren't required courses, but schools are required to have the course available. And then the other thing that they're doing is they're funding nonprofit media. But of course, it's not nonprofit media that is on the conservative side. It's going to be nonprofit media that is, NPR-ish like. And so you've got the state now intervening in how media should be interpreted and it actually is funded by them. And I think that this is a huge problem area as well.
Oh, exactly. When you're leaving it up to the government to say what news is good to listen to, that is become like, that is definitely a Orwellian thing, especially when you're then leaving it up to the teachers unions and then like the teachers to be like, teach the kids which organizations to listen to, like how to spot quote unquote fake stories and all of these things. Is like the parents should be demanding to see the curriculum and the education material, and then that needs to be put out in and of itself, because you got to remember, like I was pointing out, that these are a lot of teachers unions and teachers. Those teachers themselves have a lot of bias, and then the administrations at these in schools have their own biases, and there are just biases on biases, and like there needs to be some accountability and some oversight in what the kids are being taught to say, hey, pay attention to this.
Well, it'd be kind of fun if your organization would do this, and I would really love it if you did, is if you kind of put together, because of course media literacy is all about essentially identifying the quote unquote fake news, which Trump uses the term fake news, but they also like to say that the conservatives are fake news, right? But if you put together something specifically on COVID, specifically on Fauci, which is being done right now, but somebody should really write a definitive article about how these media literacy groups should use the entire Fauci COVID revelations as an example of how the media was biased against the American public and right science. Completely biased. I mean, that would be so important to do. And then I'd shove it right at my public school and say, add this to your curriculum if you want to talk about media literacy and bias. Anyway. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that is something that needs to get taught there, especially taught in the journalism schools, even though that the journalism schools, they're basically taught to use their positions as journalists to be activists. But even at that school level, like they need to be shown like, hey, there needs to be a full accounting of what happened during the pandemic. And yeah, if parents have any sort of materials about what their kids are being taught in these media literacy classes, there are ways to get a hold of us at Newsbusters and the Media Research Center, so they can probably, if they were so inclined, to send those along.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nick Fondacaro. Did I get it right? Thank you. Associate Editor, Newsbusters. Yep. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and for your insight.
Thank you for having me on.
All right. Have a great day. Coming up, your phone calls 312-642-5600.
Exposing the lies and the misinformation from the politicians and the media. This is The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
Summer in Chicago. Don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Ken did. He called Rhino Shield.
We bought the house 30 years ago in 1995. It's cedar lap siding. The stain that was put on the house, it only lasted about 7 years.
You see, Rhino Shield ceramic technology is formulated specifically for our unique climate right here in Chicago and stands up to our extreme temperature swings.
And then I saw a house that was done in Rhino Shield, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. And I started hearing about the fact that it's got a 25-year warranty on it that's transferable.
Rhino Shield resists chipping, flaking, and peeling, and it is backed by our extraordinary 25-year warranty.
While it costs more initially for Rhino Shield, over the life of the product, it's a lot less.
Chicago, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 10% off the regular price. This offer is for a limited time, so call now, 847-850-1132 or ChicagoRhinoShield.com.
Go Rhino Shield.
As families get ready for another school year, we're reminded that the best routines aren't built overnight. They're built by focusing on what matters most. And when it comes to dinner, that starts with quality meat. Get back to the basics with Good Ranchers. Good Ranchers partners with local farmers and ranchers to deliver 100% American meat straight to your door. It's pasture-raised, has no antibiotics, and no added hormones. It's a kind of quality you can actually feel good about serving to the people around your table. For a limited time, you can get $50 off your first Good Ranchers order. That means you can build your own box starting as low as $129. Just visit goodranchers.com/clay to get $50 off anything on their site. Remember, that's goodranchers.com/clay for $50 off. You also get double the free meat with every order on top of the $50 off when you start a plan today. Go to goodranchers.com/clay. Switch to American meat delivered.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right, welcome back. It's The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson. Let's go to callers. We've got George on the line. George, what's your ideas?
My idea is that anyone attending journalism school should receive a T-shirt that says, "In Fauci, we trust."
Perfect.
And I want to remind people, so Terry Moran from ABC News was fired in June of 2025. Remember, he had that late night message on X, formerly Twitter, that criticized President Trump and White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. In the post, he described both men as world-class haters and said that Miller was richly endowed with the capacity for hatred.
Well, guess what Terry Moran is? A world-class coward.
Yeah, I mean, he had a temper tantrum in the audio booth because he didn't like the script instead of manning up, going outside with the script and saying, this is a lie. And other journalists have done that. And other journalists in smaller markets have quit their jobs because they don't want to be a part of the lie.
Yeah, Catherine Herridge.
Oh, yeah. There's many, many others in smaller markets,
All right, let's go to Greg and LaGrange. Greg, you've been holding on. What's going on?
Hi. It's interesting the way that this show has progressed. One is about, well, I want to make 2 points.
Okay.
First one about is AI and AI taking over the duty to teach our children. I can think of no better way to exponentially push us forward to a dystopian society than to have our children sit in front of a machine and not interact with other human beings. To me, that is the catalyst on steroids to destroy society and destroy people and to destroy moral, ethical, and emotional growth of a young child. You do not fix a problem when you have bad teachers by getting rid of all the teachers. You stand in front of the problem and you take it on and you fight it, no matter how long it takes, because that's the best way to teach people and kids and everything else. Socrates taught us that. It's not change. It's something that doesn't have to change. Second thing, Terry Moran, I go back to Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and Dietrich Bonhoeffer basically said, when you're in a car with a madman, it's your responsibility. I'm paraphrasing, of course. It's your responsibility as the rational partner when you see that person veer off into a crowd to hurt people, to wrestle that steering wheel away from that person. Terry Moran, according to what you just played, and there's just a whole host of others, it's been so long. You have to remember, they had an obligation to tell the truth, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. And to be complicit and to be silent like that, just basically accelerated the problem and threw gasoline on the fire. You know, all moral societies are judged on the world that they leave their children. You want to look back at that whole episode? You want to look back at it? What do you think we left for our children based on that episode? Are you proud of it? Is the media proud of it? No, they shouldn't be. I know I'm not proud of it, and I'm just one guy. So we have a lot to answer for, and we need to find out the truth. The truth is more important than punishment and just, the ability to say, hey, I want revenge on my person. So we need truth. Truth will ultimately be the best path to making sure this never happens again. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate that phone call. All right.
Very thoughtful.
Yes. Let's go to Kevin in Austin, Texas.
Okay. Thanks for taking my call. And if Sean's still listening, Sean, thank you so much for being supportive of me and encouraging people to get involved to take over the Democrats. Anyhow, besides that, every year, I forget who the conservative radio host who did this, but he would talk about how every year kids are being indoctrinated into socialism in kindergarten because they got to bring the pencils and the Kleenex and things like that, and they all put it in the middle of the squares, and okay, this is for everybody to share. They start teaching them about how, bring everything in, and then these are all resources for everybody in the community to share, rather than talking about showing lessons as far as being competitive and being the best and improving from where you are. So I forget, I'll try to find that. But I don't know if it was Neil Bortz or somebody, but it was a fantastic thing. And that's what the education system's doing.
Okay, I think that's taken a little bit far, but okay. Thanks a lot, Kevin. I appreciate the call. And to the texter who said, oh, your military school was free. I paid it back. I paid back every single day I owed for this for that, by the way. Paid it back.
All right. Thanks so much for listening, making us part of your morning. We're back here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. God bless you. God bless this state. We sure need it.